Hello and welcome Battleforge community. Today I am back with another speedrun replay. Today I want to present you the map of the month for 4 players, difficulty 9, where we had a race for the all-time records last month. And in this replay I will show you the run that Damo, Hirooo, BlueBerryBoy and I played. And you will also get to see the record run in the end that was played by the team around Treim. Lebovim will upload this on the speedrun cast, the speedrun channel, and I will also put down the link into the description so you can just watch this one as well if you're interested. So our run ended up at a time of 7 minutes and 13 seconds, and the other team ended up being 3 seconds faster. But we used different strategies, especially in the early game. But also later on, I would say. There are certain differences in the way we ended up approaching on this map, even though times were extremely similar. So I think it might be very interesting to watch to see how you can approach these type of maps. And I will do a breakdown for every player that was in the team here. So I'll just start with Damo, then we'll do Hirooo, my run, and last but not least BlueBerryBoy. And yeah, also just wanted to mention that Nyakyua and Volin both helped us, like developing strategies and also doing some runs with us to get to the time that ended up being the best run with this lineup in the end. So yeah, let's just head into the game and see what Damo did during this match. So Nomad start here, and he will stack up 2 mines in this area, which will essentially clear the camp and also trap the spawn wave later on. And I will show how this works. So the hero is attacking here. So at this second where he touches the wave, this spawn wave will come out of this camp. So it's important to have a timer for this. So if hero plays extremely fast and engages immediately, that will behave pretty consistently and always walk the same path at the same time. So Damo knows when to engage this camp here. So what happens? These 2 mines will clear out the units and leave this one squad alive, so this spawn wave does not respawn, because if you clear all units it will respawn at this camp here. And he clears out the tower because it's the only building and structure that is not going down by the mines. So you can see this squad here survives, so he's kiting back, so the squad follows him, and once it's here he can just run around and pick up the power words. It is important to get them as early as possible, obviously, to get a little bit of extra power in the end. And now he's decimating the squad a little bit, so it doesn't deal full damage anymore and is also easier to clear later on. And yeah, the spawn wave is frozen and he immediately engages towards the next camp here, putting down a mine. So this is getting cleared and immediately going to the spawn. These camps respawn very quickly, so there are eruptions invested onto the spawn camp here. Very important to make sure that all of these units don't respawn. Damo can take this well as early as possible. And also they can just deflect this wave that comes from this camp once they touch the tier 3 camp. So Banner of Glory being played, so Damo can already release his nomads over here to get a little bit of extra immediate power return, as you can see, which allows him to take this monument. Also important to take the monuments in this area first, so you don't get annoyed by the spawn wave at any given point in time. So Hirooo is doing the job for him, clearing these archers. You can see nature orb here, just releasing next to the Banner of Glory to get the power back. And now this wave is alive, and if you just activate the Fog of War, once these corpses disappear, you can see that they are out of vision. They are already out of vision, actually, which is pretty nice. And also in the meantime he builds up tier 3. So Damo ends up playing the Shrine of War for us. This is why he also takes this extra power. You can see now the archers are out of vision. So he ends up taking this well. So a very important pings here. Extremely important communication. And yeah, just Shrine of War being built immediately after the tier 3 finishes. And yeah, just wanted to mention that the other players do not take those power words here because this run is very short. Yeah, that essentially means you have power words. The break-even point is like at 3 minutes and 20 seconds after you take them. And since this run is really short, it just isn't worth it to have the extra power in the late game, like in the last 1 or 2 minutes of the game, it's better to have more at the early stage where you get to your Batarial stage or early Shrine of War, etc. So this well was a little necessary because Damo was like running out of power because he had to build a lot of support buildings. You can see the second shrine almost built already. And also the breeding grounds here, which will make the Batarials that are coming, or the Batarial cheaper that will come from this position here that Hirooo is going to play. And yeah, just breeding grounds building up. Shrine of War not ready, but once it is, it will be active permanently basically. Might be first delay between the first and second because this one was built a little later. Not sure if we had a delay here. But yeah, you can see that this monument is dropping low, but it doesn't matter because at some point in time this Batarial will arrive, like the one that Hirooo placed now, and now he clears those crossbowmen. And since the shrine is active, there was an eruption being played, which is important because it gives the immediate void return. Also, for all players, they get a little bit of a power boost, so it is worth it erupting the wave here. So Hirooo activating here, not too much happening on this side, outside of a little support spells, because Damo needs to wait a little bit before proceeding, because he needs an MI monument for his second Shadow Orb. So he placed the MI monument in our team, so he does not have to summon another unit and walk up to this base. Oh, he also, yeah, that is important, that is something I will show later on. He played a mine here to deal with the spawn wave that is coming here. I will show that when Hirooo does his run. So you can see that one again. It is very important to play that mine, so Hirooo can immediately walk up to his camps and do his clears. And yeah, the army monument being built, so he does not have to summon and walk up to our position. Also, it is a little cheaper because the 140 power for the swap gets basically immediately refunded through the void return. So Nomad being played, walking up here and immediately nether warped, oinking, so this monument stops attacking the spawn wave, so it does not resummon when he's doing the clear here. Yeah, essentially walking up to this area, small camp, playing Infect, Frenetic, and immediately killing the Nomad. And at this point in time, those crawlers will just do the rest and clear the camp. And yeah, spawn waves are coming to this area, so need to be dealt with. I think there was like an eruption over here to help dealing with them. And at this point, he's playing a Bloodhorn over here, immediately destroying the breeding grounds. Nether warping, so it reaches this area immediately, doesn't have to do the walking path. Unfortunately, this bouncer gets out of the oink, so this Bloodhorn is getting CC'd for a very short amount of time. Soul Shatters to clear the wave. The Bloodhorn is walking around here. Now he needs to clear this camp and the camp with the Equestrian Twins. So buffing the Bloodhorn, double buffing, especially Unholy Hero, very important to triple the damage it does. He's like waiting for the power to play Infect and Stampede here. And with the Thunderstorm, which is important to clear this air unit over here, this camp is done, so he doesn't need to bother with it. Already walking up to the next camp. This is going to be dealt with a Soul Shatter, so it also just knocks back the bounces so they don't CC the Bloodhorn. Another Life Weaving, Unholy Hero, so the buff is there. Activating the ability while playing a Frenetic. So those are not attacking, and the Bloodhorn buff doubles the damage, so it does more damage to the Equestrian Twins. Earthshake onto the spawn building, Mambo Jumbo onto the Equestrian Twins, which was played by, I think, somebody else actually, for support because of deck slot issues. Then erupting the tower, and the run was completed from this side. So that was the position from the top, and let's just go and see what Hirooo did during his clear. Alright, so we are at the second part of the video here, where we'll see what Hirooo did during his clear path here. So, Nomads being played, two of them placed down a mine, immediately engaging the camp, so the wave spawns that Damo needs to clear later on. He's attacking the Spearmen here, so they stay in range because they don't get knockback from the mine. So in the end, this mine ends up clearing everything here. It does not play the third Nomad, so he has the power to take this power well immediately. And then he's focusing down this tower here. Once he's at 100 power, he's probably taking this well as well. And yeah, taking the well as early as possible is very important, as I mentioned earlier, to get a little bit of extra power on the long run. And trying to run away with this Nomad. But yeah, the next shot would have killed it, so pretty good that it survived, very important for the run. otherwise we would have to restart. And yeah, just healing up at the power well, and then moving towards the next camp, which I basically showed earlier. And now we see it from the other side here. Those nomads are engaging, waiting, pulling the aggro of the shaman. That is not what you want. You just want them in position. But he's going away. But this delays his appearance in the center a little bit. But since he just needs to support with eruptions for the spawner, you can see he just played the last eruption here. Everything is fine. Just the tower kill is a little bit delayed, which is not the most optimal thing, because usually Hirooo wants to deflect the spawn wave a little bit earlier. But turned out to be okay in the end. So yeah, Band of Glory played to get the power refund. That is something we saw in the first run as well. And yeah, at this point in time, we see him at like 150, 200 power now, because the Nomad died in the banner range. The next Nomad dies next to the Banner of Glory. Tier 2 being built over here. Banner getting destroyed to make sure the void comes back to the player. And yeah, once he has like the 250 power, he'll take his tier 3 over here, and then it's time to wait for the Batario. So yeah, there we go. This is Nature Orb, so Fire, Nature, Nature, which is the combination that the three of us played. Only Damo went for the Shadow Orb early, due to his part of playing the Shrine of War. Communication pings here. I'm not sure if we were talking about the spawn wave or about the grass over here during that. I think it was the grass. So yeah, very important. Yeah, I think I just make it a little faster here because nothing happens. Waiting for power. Like, sometimes our players ended up going AFK during this waiting time, to do the laundry or to get some food. Yeah, so now it ends up getting important, because with the return that we get, we want to play the Enlightenment around like 430 to 440 power. So once it gets played, the power goes into the void, so we get the refund a little earlier, and also the Batario can be played a little earlier, but we need to make sure that the Enlightenment does not expire. So you can see like just 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, just 3 to 2 seconds before it expired. 430, essentially the most important amount of power. But yeah, now this Batario is here, and the Shrine of War is active, so he can use spells and abilities more aggressively. So he's using the ability onto the spawn with the spawn wave that comes out of it. At this point in time, it also is very important to have that at this point. The Batario immediately starts to burn and kills the camp. Now you can see the mine that I mentioned earlier. That is something Damo played here. So this spawn wave is dealt with, and Hirooo has no... doesn't have to spend any power, so just can walk up to this area here and does his camp clearing. Goes for the Shadow Orb, so the Shadow spells are getting available, especially the Unholy Hero important, but obviously Life Weaving as well. He does not have the double Shadow spells available because we don't do the Orb switch. Batario getting CC'd for a second, but important that he started burning in the center of the camp, so everything died essentially here. Using Surge of Light, Curse of Oink, and yeah, the Unholy Hero, really important to make sure that the burning from this Batario is getting more and more powerful. Regrowth to keep it healthy. Now he needs to be careful with this Wind Hunter, because yeah, you can see CC very annoying. But yeah, buffing with the Life Weaving here, so the Batario doesn't die. Getting into the center of the camp, he starts burning over here, so everything dies. Walking forward, the Thunderstorm dealing with the wave, so he doesn't have to bother with it. This camp's still alive, but now he starts burning again. Twilight Curse onto the Wind Hunter here, so it does not CC the Batario, and the burn does everything that is necessary. So Spawn Wave was at the tier 4 that was dealt with at this point in time. The Wind Hunter being focused immediately, Green Disenchant, so the Batario does not get CC'd and obviously always double buffed. getting into the center of the camp, so it starts burning everything down to the ground. This is the purple disenchant that you have to play in reaction, so very good timing at this one. The other one is you just want to play the green one before the Wind Hunter hits, and the purple one just immediately after you get hit. So yeah, getting into the center of the camp again, so everything burns down. This camp can be ugly because there are lots of Wind Hunters in this area and you don't have the access to double shadow with our strategy. So yeah, another regrowth being played, and this Wind Hunter would CC the Battalion, so there's a green disenchant here, making sure this does not happen in advance. As I said, you want to play this before the Wind Hunter hits, because once the Battalion gets stunned, and if you disenchant then, he obviously cancels the animation. So that was a support nether ward by Damo here, to just increase our camp clear speed a little bit on this side. Because this camp is a little ugly as it is spread out, but the Battalion starts to burn it down, and with support spells, Earthshaker and stuff, this is getting cleared, and this was also the end of Hiroo's clear. So yeah, let's just go towards the next position, which is, I think that is my clear. So let's see what happened over there. Alright, let's head into my position here and see what happens on the bottom half of the map. So I will start with a similar opening as Hirooo did, because our camp structures are basically the same on the inner positions. And you can see just a mine, and then I'll just walk through here to make sure those spearmen are staying in this radius here. Take the power well as early as possible, then walk up with those nomads outside of the turret range, which is pretty important. And then just clear the footman here that survived, to make sure the second power well is not getting delayed, and I can take it immediately after getting the 100 power. So I don't have to clear this tower immediately. It's just a little risky to do this since this nomad dropped low and the aggro sometimes switches pretty quickly. So I just wait for the third nomad. Our clear speed in the tier 3 is not as important as on the top side, because we don't take any power wells there. And power well timings are an essential part to global clear speed, obviously. But delaying this a little bit here is not a big issue. So I would walk up to this camp here, place a mine, because all of those units are facing towards my my side here, and play an eruption immediately to make sure that those units are getting hit. And it's the same thing, like we play 2 eruptions here to make sure that no unit respawns before we clear the camp, which enables us to clear everything, build the banner of glory, and then handle the spawn wave without too many issues. I'll kill one nomad immediately and help a little bit here to just tank up some damage and get rid of the spearman. That was not super smooth, honestly. We had like runs where this worked a little better, but still good enough. The second nomad dies, clearing those remaining units that were from the spawn trap. We will see that again once we go to BlueBerryBoy's point of view, who is clearing those archers here. It's very important to not attack the shaman here, because he's from the camp. We don't want to trigger spawn waves behind that. So killing the nomads, destroying the banner of glory immediately, and the shaman turns around after he healed up those crossbowmen. Just to take a look at the fog of war, they are out of range again. So there's nothing that we need to worry about, and the battalion will be available once those units before those units destroy the monument. That's what I wanted to say. When my teammates were pinging again, since we just wait a little bit, I can show you the camp structure that I need to clear. I will basically clear this path, this camp here, to enable the tier 4 positions for BlueBerryBoy. There's nothing happening here until I get the power. Then I clear this camp with those dragons, walk down over here, and then I'll head towards this area here, clear the corner camp, and the last one with a command walker. And yeah, we can just see how this worked out. Once I get the 430 power, we can just make this a little faster again. Let's there we are, 435 in this case. So just and now we just wait again until we are at 300, and then we play the Batarial next to the breeding ground, so we get the 75 power refund immediately. There you go, 75 left for me. I could immediately play spell. Hitting this squad once, so those ones are getting cleared by the monuments, and then we will head towards this camp. Yeah, just hitting the spearman here, because then I can make sure this Batarial starts burning. I need to stay in the center here to make sure that this burns down as well as the camp, and then BlueBerryBoy just does orb switches, so I can take my tier 4, which is not available when engaging this camp. So 2 Curse of Oinks to make sure all of the Wind Hunters are CC'd, then attacking one to make sure this Batarial starts burning, and disenchanting with the green one so those Wind Hunters don't get any CC onto the Batarial. It is very important to play like this, because no life weaving available. As you can see, my tier 4 not ready. Only gets available once I reach this small camp here, which I'm clearing down here. So trying to get into the center here. Batarial starts burning immediately, which is because he just walks over those units. So the burn also killing the tower. And now I will just ignore this camp, because BlueBerryBoy will just remove it here. Makes also sure to get aggro from this Wind Hunter. This spawn wave is getting played, also not pulling the Slave Master camp. This can happen easily. So oinking over here, so this Wind Hunter does not CC. Disenchant green here to make sure we remove this Wind Hunter without getting CC. And then just walking past those bandit bouncers that are supposed to die from the burn, but didn't work out, so I had to play another Thunderstorm here. But I just don't want to make my Batarial stop from like walking towards this. So now I'm just using green disenchant here again. Everything burns down. I will try to get towards the area where the spawn camps are. And now I'm at 240 power. And I will use this to play another Enlightenment. I don't have double shadow available, so I have to play the Enlightenment, wait for Void Return, and then play the Sky Elf. Immediately another oink onto this Wind Hunter, so my Batarial is not CC'd at any given point in time. Walking up to the last camp here, making sure this Fallen Sky also walks up, but needs to stay safe because those towers can attack it, and it definitely should die, obviously. So playing, refreshing the buffs again, the shadow buffs, and also disenchant green, so those Wind Hunters don't CC the Batarial. Getting into the center of the camp, so the Batarial starts burning over here. Unfortunately getting CC'd here, so the disenchant a little late. This was the purple one. And now everything should burn down from the Batarial. And now that is a little unfortunate. Small misclick here. I wanted to activate the ability and I just walked a little around the area. Right now I usually can support with spells, but I saw this is getting really close with the Sky activation, so I spam Eruptions onto the Comet Walker. As you can see, 1 second left where the Comet Walker dies, and at this point my clear is done. I think I also played like 1 support spell over here, usually like Earthquake and stuff like that. I think I still did this right here, just an Earthquake here. Yeah, at this point, because the Comet Walker was down. But that was really close because I kind of misclicked. I wanted to attack the Comet Walker and then activate the ability, but I kind of just clicked next to it, so the Batarial walked for a second. Made this thing really close, so I'm really, was really scared here. But those eruptions made sure the Comet Walker died before the Fallen Sky ability ran out. Okay, so that was my part of the story, and now just look. Let's take a look at the last position by played by BlueBerryBoy. All right, last round here. We'll just switch to BlueBerryBoy here, who played Fire in T1 as well. So we started. All of us started with Fire T1, and if you want to watch the run by Treim, Pritstift, Lebovim, and Wanky, they ended up playing triple Shadow and just 1 Fire start. So different approach here. Again, feel free to check out their run, which ended up being the 7-10 all-time records. Double Mine, so outer position similar clear to what Damo does, making sure this camp dies, but the archers, at least one of them has to stay alive. In this scenario, he just probably used the Nomad here to push some of the crossbowmen out of range so the mine does not kill them immediately. Walking back here to make sure the archer is chasing a little bit, so these power wells are obtainable. And also sending the full HP nomad to attack, because these ones definitely shouldn't die. At this point you can basically restart, same thing. So yeah, two squads ended up being here with a very low amount of HP. Not optimal, but also not the worst thing. Yeah, just using trample here to remove that. In the meantime, I already went for the camp engage. So one player focuses the camp, the other one focuses the tower, because those things don't die from the mine. And the spawn camp is down here, which is the most essential part, Banner of Glory being played. And that essentially is the start from the bottom side here. And yeah, this was already shown, so I can do a wind up. Tier 2 being played. Again, very important to take these orbs first, so those archers attack them and don't walk up and block the position. Take these ones as your tier 3 here. Releasing nomads, banner gets destroyed, and now we can just wait for the time where the Batarial appears. And there we go. And yeah, also breeding grounds. Oh, that looks funny. Yeah, so you can see the power count, 200. And here also, just for the show here, I'm at 410, so I have 100 additional power in this case, roughly 100. So difference basically coming from the breeding grounds being played by BlueBerryBoy, and also the fact that the inner positions get their power wells first. So those ones are the ones that can get towards the Batarial at the highest clear time. Technically speaking, you could also clear the inner positions with the Sundra in the mine, which is a lot riskier, but technically can push this Batarial timing a few seconds. But we didn't try that because it was very inconsistent, and yeah, we still had other issues to fix. So but that is something that could push the time a little further. So Enlightenment, Batarial, breeding grounds destroyed, and orb is getting destroyed, so I can pick up my shadow over here, and I end up clearing this position for him to enable those pickups here, because we can't just play without all the double shadow spells. It's just the outer position, the inner positions that went for the way that we don't do the double orb switch. So this Batarial getting CC'd, not the biggest deal, because he really needs to wait for the wave to occur over here, because he does not have access to the shadow spells, and that is very important. If this camp attacks too early, it gets really problematic. So Curse of Oink being played, so the Batarial can walk up to this area here. You can see first shadow orb is done, and yeah, CC coming through. Second one is through. Now shadow orbs are available. Teleporting to the center with the burning Batarial. It's pretty risky, but works out. In the best case scenario, this camp would be down here already. Unfortunately, the Batarial stopped burning, which delays us a little bit. We had runs where this worked out a little smoother, but still fine. Still a good clear so far. And now he just walks up to the next position. Also playing a Nomad here, and that is such a sweet move here. He's damaging the wave with an eruption, so this spawn wave does not attack the main base, because the Shaman heals it up. In the meantime, this Batarial walks up, double buff here to make sure he can easily clear the camp. Frenetic Assault to distract the Wind Hunter again, to make sure the Batarial is not getting CC. And now the burn essentially does the rest. He's playing an Infect here. But he needs to clear this tower with an Earthshaker, because not too many crawlers ended up appearing. Usually you can clear this without too much time, like the Batarial can turn around a little earlier. But yeah, now this sweet move, like playing the Nomad from here to give spawn presence for a maximum range nether warp to the wave that still was around, and now this Batarial burns down the wave and can engage the Slave Master camp. Killing the Nomad to enable Void Return from the Shrine of War, to have more power available to kill the Slave Master in the end. Frenetic Assault to distract the Wind Hunter again, so all of these things attack the artillery here, and take the Slave Master. Also teleporting to this area, so the spawn camp burns down from the Batarial burn, Earthshaker being played into the way station, and yeah, now he just needs to kill the Slave Master, double erupting this bird here to make sure. I think that was also spells crossword spell support, I'm not sure, but yeah, in the end this Batara ends up killing the Slave Master, and that was the run. And yeah, those were all positions that we played. I think it was a very nice nice speedrun. I really enjoyed playing this one. It was also really interesting to get the strategy building done. Oh, just wanted to mention we played Snapjaws to increase to apply the debuff onto the Slave Master to increase the damage. I just see them wrong there. I didn't mention that. So yeah, in the end, I really hope that you enjoyed the replay, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.